In 2011, a retired electrician in Venezuela checked his bank account. The number looked impressive. Decades of savings, overtime pay, careful budgeting. He felt safe. That money represented his life, his work, his future. 4 years later, that same money couldn't buy a loaf of bread. Not because he spent it, not because it was stolen, not because of war or natural disaster, but because money itself failed. Today, millions of Americans are watching inflation rise, debt explode, and money printing become normal. And they're asking a quiet but terrifying question. Could what happened in Venezuela ever happen here? And if it could, how would you protect yourself before it's too late? Can this happen in America? Most people misunderstand Venezuela. They imagine a weak economy, a struggling nation, a place destined to fail. That story is comforting because it suggests collapse only happens somewhere else. But Venezuela was once one of the richest countries in the world. It sits on the largest proven oil reserves on Earth, more than Saudi Arabia. In the 1970s and early 2000s, oil money poured in. The middle class expanded. Imported food, cars, and electronics were everywhere. The currency was stable. Venezuela wasn't surviving. It was thriving. And this is the first uncomfortable lesson of financial history. Economic collapse doesn't start in poor countries. It starts in countries that feel safe. Every financial collapse begins with good intentions. In Venezuela, leaders promised free education, free healthcare, subsidized food, guaranteed jobs. And at first, it worked. Oil paid the bills. Living standards rose. People trusted the system. Policies expanded under Hugo Chavez and later continued under Nicolás Maduro. But beneath the promises was a quiet problem. Government spending kept rising, even when oil revenue didn't. And when money coming in can't match money going out, there are only two options: cut spending or create money. One is painful. The other feels painless. They chose the painless one. Printing money feels magical. No taxes raised, no benefits cut, no protests at first. New money enters the system. People feel richer. Governments feel powerful. But money doesn't create value. Production does. And when you create more money without creating more goods, prices rise. This is not opinion. This is arithmetic. At first, inflation was small. Officials dismissed it as temporary. Then prices doubled. Then doubled again. Then began rising weekly. By the time leaders admitted there was a problem, the damage was irreversible. Money works on trust. Trust that your paycheck keeps value. Your savings mean something tomorrow. Prices make sense. When trust breaks, money collapses fast. In Venezuela, salaries became worthless within days. ATMs limited withdrawals because cash had no value. People carried backpacks of bills to buy groceries. Eventually, people stopped using the currency altogether. US dollars replaced it. Bartering returned. Savings vanished. Not slowly, instantly. This wasn't a crime by a single person. It was a systemic failure. And the cruelest part? Those who followed the rules lost everything. Oil should have saved Venezuela. Instead, it trapped it. The government centralized control. Private investment disappeared. Maintenance collapsed. Corruption spread. Oil production plummeted. Less oil meant less income, which led to more money printing. This feedback loop destroyed the economy. When production falls and money creation rises, inflation accelerates. This pattern has repeated throughout history, from ancient Rome to modern states. Different countries, same mistake. Economic collapse doesn't happen on spreadsheets. It happens in kitchens. Doctors earned less than taxi drivers. Teachers quit to sell food on streets. Families abandoned homes overnight. Savings accounts became jokes. Pensions became worthless. People who planned responsibly were punished. People who understood money early survived. This is why financial literacy isn't optional, it's survival knowledge. So let's ask the question everyone avoids. Could this ever happen in America? The honest answer is America is not Venezuela. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency. The economy is diversified. Institutions are stronger. But history doesn't collapse countries overnight. It erodes them gradually. Warning signs always look harmless at first. Rising national debt, chronic deficits, money creation normalized, inflation explained away as temporary. These are not predictions, they are patterns. And every collapsed currency once believed, this can't happen here. So is inflation a scam? Not exactly. A scam implies deception by individuals. What happened in Venezuela was worse. It was a systemic self-destruction. When governments promise more than economies can produce, when money replaces productivity, when trust replaces discipline, collapse becomes inevitable. Not political, not ideological, mathematical. This documentary is not about fear. It's about awareness. History shows that people who survive monetary disasters do three things. First, they don't store all wealth in cash. Inflation silently destroys cash. Second, they diversify assets, skills, income streams. Dependency is risk. Third, they understand history, because history always leaves clues. Prepared people don't panic. They adapt. This is not a prediction of American collapse. It's a reminder. Systems are not immortal. Currencies do not last forever. The US dollar itself has lost over 90% of its purchasing power since 1913, not because of a single disaster, but because of slow erosion. The greatest financial disasters don't arrive with explosions. They arrive quietly, while people are distracted. The real scam isn't inflation. The real scam is believing you don't need to understand money. Venezuela didn't collapse overnight. It collapsed while people believed someone else was responsible, someone else would fix it, someone else understood it. Financial history doesn't repeat perfectly, but it rhymes. If money failed tomorrow, would you know how to protect yourself? Or would you trust the system, like millions before you? Comment below. Do you think something like this could ever happen in America? History whispers first. Only later does it scream. If understanding money matters to you, subscribe now, because history is the most expensive teacher.